All right. Let's try this out. Try just doing my vlog live. I'm not actually sure if this is live at all. It should be. It seems to be. But we'll only know in retrospect. Okay. Yeah, I'm watching myself. Okay, crazy. Try just doing my vlog live. I'm not actually sure if this is live at all. Okay, so that's going to be a bit trippy afterwards, but I just figured out the sound was really quiet, so I'm going to talk louder. I'm in the place where I teach piano in person in the north of Germany. Feel free to come have lessons here if you live in the area. And otherwise, I'm focusing on online right now. I'm very, very happy to welcome private online piano students. I've had very little sleep, so I hope I'm not going to be umming and erring too much. But yeah, in the spirit of my old vlogs, I'm just going to update you about my life, what's going on, and most importantly, try to come up with learnings and things that can be useful to you, and also just update on my projects. So let's start at the end. These have been pretty much on hold. I haven't been posting that much anywhere except for the odd Insta post here. Twitter, actually, I do use very intensively because I call it my pensieve, like the thing that Dumbledore uses to put his thoughts and memories into. That's basically Twitter for me. So I'm constantly adding to like ongoing running threads or just tweeting random stuff that occurs to me, that happened to me, that I just came up with, that I found somewhere. Also retweeting. So yeah, that's at Johar_Amor, and because it's just my personal account, it's a mix of everything. I do have other accounts for my projects, but those are inactive at the moment. And I realized I have way too many projects that I put out into the world, and I'm not really running, looking after. So it's a really great exercise to constantly be thinking, what are all the things that I want to create and put out there online? What are they going to be called? What are they going to be about? But that's obviously going to be evolving over time, and especially if you're actually using them, which was not the case for me. So I sat down and had a real think, like, which of all of these do I really want to keep and actually start looking after and activating and growing. And so I did a rebranding, simplifying, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna start slow and build up one by one through scheduling content. And I'm not gonna move on to the second account until the first one has scheduled content for a while, because otherwise, what's the point? I just didn't have any consistency anywhere, and the whole thing is not going anywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna start with my personal account, yeah, and then use that to feed my work account on Instagram. And then we're going to move on from there to music, because that's the main thing. That's what I'm doing the most of right now. That's where I'm interested in getting more clients, starting to work with other musicians. And that's a really great place to start, because, start with your strengths. And that's been a really, really big learning of mine in the last 1 or 2 months, because so much has happened in my life, and there's been so much more extra stress, but also extra opportunity, that has made me realize the worst thing you can do is inaction. We've heard this a million times, but it takes a lot of experiences for it to actually sink in and click. And what leads to action? Well, it's having the right combination of a kick in the butt, so something like a challenge, pressure, and also the ability to go into that action, which can be using your strengths. It can be just being in a good place where, it's easy to do almost anything. That's what it feels like. It could be, just the right environment, the right tools, that then combined with the kick in the butt, it creates movement, right? And what I've been doing to myself is putting myself under a lot of pressure and a lot of kicks in the butt in many directions for ages, but focusing on working on my weaknesses rather than really using my strengths. So I've only ever used my strengths when I need a break, when I'm like, okay, I need something where I can just be coasting and not really investing into. But if you invest into your strengths, then obviously that's going to work a lot better and a lot quicker than the results shown by investing in your weaknesses. So I think both are really important. It's just in my personal case, I've been investing like 90% into my weaknesses, which I'm also very grateful for, but it's time for strengths again. And so it's like I've been doing a bunch of this silent growth, and now it's time to do the obvious growth. Yeah, so anyway, I want to bring regularity back. I realize this is kind of my pattern, and maybe it's a very human thing to have this sine curve of being hyper-productive, creating a lot, publishing a lot, and then just kind of going radio silence and not being able to manage like even my personal chats for a while because it's just too much. You know, life is cyclical, so these periods of stress will come. And our ability to manage them is also cyclical, or maybe even chaotic. You know, life is also chaotic. So it's like there are so many cycles happening at different rates that it looks like chaos. But if you just plan with the sine curve and try to get ahead of the curve, I love that expression, then you can generate consistency, especially nowadays when you can automate and schedule things. So that's what I'm still trying to do ever since becoming a creator ages ago. And I do feel like I'm getting consistently better. You know, progress is not linear. So it's like I was struggling with this curve and then I started to get better and struggle on here, which even if I have all of this variation, it's still this much better than where I started, right? So, and sometimes you'll sink right back to the bottom and then you go higher, and it's a bit like the stock market, trying to track your own progress. Exactly. So I'm trying to be like a lot more authentic and raw, doing more live things. For example, with my podcast, which is so important to me that's the fact that it's so important to me, plus how good I want it to be, this perfectionism, has resulted in paralysis. And then I just cannot seem to get into a weekly rhythm. And then I thought about it. What is actually stopping me? What would I have to do to just put these out there? And it's to dramatically reduce the effort of editing them. So I thought, okay, how can we be really drastic about this? Because apparently, even if I say to myself, yeah, I'm gonna edit less, or I'm gonna do it more efficiently, spend less time on it, I'm gonna only do these 2/3 of the different things you can do, it still doesn't work with my perfectionism. So I'm going all out, and I'm gonna ask the people I've interviewed, hey, are you okay with me just bringing out the whole thing? And I know that might have a little bit of impact on quality because we're not expert speakers. You know, I'm starting out as an interviewer. A lot of my guests are just lay people, so not people working in media and giving speeches all the time, having taken courses in it. And so there will be a lot of ums and ers and maybe awkward pauses or speaking mistakes and repetitions, things like that. But I think it's much better to put all of that out there than to not be putting out anything, right? So in the spirit of that is why I'm doing my vlog live, because same thing here. I was escalating from a vlog that even the name just says it's actually just a log, but on video. It's like in The Martian, like if you're trying just to document what's happening and you just turn on the camera, document, turn it off, that's it. That's what a vlog is supposed to be. And I was turning it into this thing where I was like, I need to edit this together and have really nice cutouts to amazing scenery and everything that I've been collecting in my stock footage of my own life, and just wanting to make these Nathaniel Drew videos out of it, or Matt Diavella videos. And that's just not what's needed right now. It's that I also want to make those, but that's a separate category. So vlogs live, podcasts raw, just making my life really simple, because the main thing is just to put it out there. That's what people want. If you're interested in listening or watching, it's because of the content, right? Mostly. So of course it'd be a nice to have if it were better quality, but it's not a must. Not more than having it exist. All right, so yeah, I'm taking the same approach also with everything in my life. And I'm just thinking, right, with any kind of work that I'm doing, no matter how much I enjoy it, how can I cut to the chase and get money? And how can I not just get any money, but get big money? And this is the approach that I've been wanting to have my whole life. And like a part of me is like that. It's already thinking and wanting to live that way, but I haven't been able to fully implement it. And that's because I very often get in my own way. And that's something that's really scary to realize. It's not that I was hiding it or not admitting it. It's just that I often don't realize, because we have all these mechanisms that are there to protect us even from ourselves, right? And it's really hard to figure out when you're self-sabotaging. And things like being scared of success, or things like being scared of overwhelm. There's these like really surreptitious forms of fear which are really hard to catch, because you might not feel exactly afraid. Like when I think of feeling afraid, I think of a different thing than these small blocks that I'm talking about. Small, but major over time, because everything is incremental, everything is compounding interest. So even if you have a very small block, meaning that your growth is like this, then in 10 years, I can't see my right hand, you may have grown this much because of that small rate of improvement. Whereas if you remove that break and you start to speed up the growth a little bit, in this short period, you won't really notice a difference. But over 10 years, you'll be here instead. And so that's what I've been doing to myself, unfortunately. I mean, my favorite culprit is immigration. And I have to say that is just awful. It's one of the worst things that anyone can choose for themselves, because at the end of the day, it's still a choice. But that's the thing. I could have chosen it in a different way. And I'm seeing great examples of friends and idols and even, I don't know, fictitious characters who deal with hardship like this in a much better way. And if I'm someone who wants to make the impossible happen, then God, like the basic level of that is being able to make the possible happen, right? If there's other people, hello, court gaming. If there's other people making things happen when they're hard and when they're super hard and when they're basically impossible, and that's where I want to get to, that's where I want to compete with, then I have to start by making my just kind of hard things happen, right? That's level one. Okay, maybe by some people's standards, I'm already at super hard, but yeah, it's not really happening. And that's my prerequisite before I can get to impossible, to like God mode, making things happen. And so, yeah, I am actually known among people who follow me for sacrificing sleep and food and being like really intense and hard on myself. But sadly, that hasn't been enough. I have to do it in a smarter way, and I have to do it more consistently. And I have to really make it count. That's the thing. That's basically what I mean when I say in a smarter way. So like just sleeping less and hoping that more hours in the day are gonna magically change things is not a recipe for success, rather for disaster. So sleeping less and using every minute in a really smart way with a lot of pivoting, with a lot of leverage that is actually gonna make it worth it might be a good strategy. Of course, I'm not saying, you should look after your sleep, basically. But yeah. So concretely, I'm thinking of this. I'm trying to make more videos. Thanks, guys. I want to make like a big comeback now, where I'm gonna start with these simplified forms of content, just bringing out whatever I can, and at the same time, I'm gonna be like getting ahead of myself with planning the next thing, right? So I'm like bringing out weekly vlogs, and in those weeks, here I'm going to plan 1, 2, 3 videos. Maybe here I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 more. And that way I can already have scheduled the next weeks and months to come. And then once that's up there for one account, then I can move on to the next account and to the next account. And this is what I meant, that I have to really be hustling in an intelligent way and consistently, so that I don't have these huge gaps where no one's heard of me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, my newsletter, everything just kind of like going out the window. It's not good. And one thing that is really, really important, so that this is all actually worth it and I can have it be more sustainable, is I need it to be self-financing, or at least beginning to. And things like affiliate marketing and sponsors require a massive, massive following that it's going to take a while before I'm there. And it also requires a lot more clarity and niching and things that my personal account doesn't have, that I don't really want it to to be that specific, because it's me, you know, it's supposed to be all of the things that I'm interested in and standing for. So the better way to start monetizing actually is by selling products. And so I'm trying to come up with great products that I really believe in, that I think will make a difference, and that I can already start to sell digital products. Thank you. I don't really like my hairs, but I'm gonna have a haircut soon. But it's actually quite a cool style. I'm thinking I'm gonna miss it. Maybe I'll just do another undercut again. Anyway, yeah, so some things that are gonna be coming are the piano course that I've been talking about for ages, slash not just piano, but like fundamentals of music for anyone to learn. And writing, lots of writing stuff. Like, I'm still not sure whether I should do an ebook. It could just be like a really short one, or just start to monetize my Medium blog. And yeah, actually in the category of digital products, maybe I should actually start with my Notion templates, because I use Notion so much and I haven't made templates out of almost anything. And even when I did, I just gave them away for free, not even on Gumroad, so I wasn't even building an audience. So that's also a big thing. I want to start to take the tools that really help me and share them, you know, because if they help me, then probably there's going to be people interested out there. I also have to be more proactive about going and finding my community. So I need to go on places like Reddit, maybe even Facebook groups, because I really don't like Facebook. Maybe go around more on YouTube or Twitter, maybe even Tumblr, is that still a thing? And just kind of like look for the people that could become my community, instead of just blindly putting out content and hoping that it will reach someone just through sheer luck and SEO, because that doesn't really work. Okay. On the more personal sides of things, still a super stressful immigration situation. I'm still commuting all over the country every single week, which is part of the reason why I sleep so little, with very little benefit. It's just, you know, the way I have to sleep because I'm commuting in the night and stuff like that. But that should be getting better soon, because I'm getting more clients, which means I might be able to afford this super ultra ticket that allows you to just take any train, anywhere, anytime. And that would be amazing. That would really improve my quality of life. So there's someone starting to drum. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I think that's my cue to the outro. By the way, I just overcame a huge hurdle for myself by making this, because I'm actually streaming from OBS. OBS is an amazing open source program for streaming. And just because it's open source and it's not like super pretty and user friendly, I've been so scared to use it that's the kind of stupid block that actually I think neurodivergents are very prone to. So I'm sorry, my fellow neurodivs, I didn't mean to call it stupid. It's just very frustrating that we have very specific kind of random blockages that come in that no one else would get. Like neurotypicals are like, why are you getting stuck at that when you can do so much awesome stuff? And it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just the way our brains work. So I'm really proud of that. I'm now in OBS. I got the setup. It's connected to my YouTube. The only thing that's missing now, which is not going to be missing for long, is to connect my computer to a keyboard via MIDI, and then find some sort of way to display notes and music, and then I can play around with OBS. I don't know if you can see this live, probably. If you see me shrinking up into the left corner, that just shows you how powerful OBS is. I'm just like dragging my image, and you can do whatever you want. So I could have like other things showing, and that's just going to be really helpful when creating these courses that I want to create. Then I'm going to start to put in, what's it called? Skillshare, maybe also Gumroad. I don't know, I'm completely new to this whole digital product creation thing. So yeah, I'm from Mexico originally, but I grew up in England as well, half of my youth. That makes me sound so old. I kind of am. And where am I going? I'm staying here. I'm going to be doing some more of this stuff and making and work. Yeah, this is really nice. Plus also of doing live vlogs. You get to interact with me. I love that. Yeah. as I keep saying in my videos, I'm always open to ideas. So let me know in the comments anything you'd like to see. Like, you can ask me random questions. You can say if you'd like to see more of Germany, German cities. If you'd like to have a specific topic that I can talk about, and something that I can teach. Maybe skills that you're interested in, because I'm always constantly learning and very willing to teach. Yeah, so like I want this to be, community fed, very flexible right now. Maybe in the future I won't be so much, because I'll have more set content formats and a structured agenda. But yeah, the other thing, I have a huge affiliates list already, actually, that you should go and check out. It's on my Notion page, and I have everything from car rentals, technology rentals, online therapy for mental health, just a bunch of really great discounts of all the things that I use, like some of my subscriptions, my software. And with some of them, I don't even get any benefit. It's just discount for you. And with some of them, I get like a kickback discount or a little bit of, I don't know, like a free month, or maybe it's rarely ever money. So actually, I'm really just doing this for you, but it might have the odd benefit that I get a discount, yeah, exactly, on the things that I use anyway. So I'll put the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you watch live and commented. And don't forget to like and subscribe. That also really helps the algorithm. And I'll see you in the next one, next week at the latest. All right, guys, take care and have a great day.